Morning.
All right, welcome to Daybreak on WGRZ Plus, and good morning to you, Patrick, as well. It is 9 o'clock, and in our news this morning, we've got the latest as a Tonawanda man accused of killing his wife is set to make his next court appearance. A pretrial hearing for Nicholas Malvaso is scheduled for 9:30 this morning in Erie County Court. He is charged with second-degree murder in the death of his wife, Tiffany Malvaso. Officers found her inside her home on Cleveland Drive back on May 16th, dead from blunt force trauma to her head. Nicholas Malvaso is currently being held without bail. We'll have the latest on that hearing later today on Channel 2. And we are working to learn more about this crash that caused a long backup on the 290 last night in Amherst. It happened about 10 o'clock right near the 190 interchange. The left lane was closed, forcing drivers to move over as they avoided that scene. These lanes have since reopened, and we've reached out to Amherst Police for more information. We have an update on a story we first brought to you yesterday on Daybreak. Buffalo police are looking into what they believe was a hit and run involving a motorcycle. This video was posted to the Facebook page Buffalo Street News 716, and you can see the scene right at the corner of William and Bailey. Around 10 o'clock Wednesday night, debris from the motorcycle was scattered across the street. The rider was taken to ECMC, is expected to be okay. 5 nursing homes in our area are now facing fines for violations involving patient care and safety. Those violations range from lack of proper care, unsanitary conditions, verbal abuse by staff, and failure to protect residents from others who were violent or abusive. Those nursing homes include Humboldt House Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, the Buffalo Center for Rehabilitation and Nursing, Seneca Healthcare Center in West Seneca, the Jenny B. Richmond Nursing Home, and Fiddler's Green Manor Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. The 5 facilities face a combined total of $373,000 in fines. It is now 9:02 on Daybreak, and students across the Buffalo School District are officially on summer break, but some big issues are not taking the summer off. Questions about school safety and growing tension on the school board continue to draw attention, with Buffalo Mayor Sean Ryan now calling for stability. An investigation continues into the attack of a 68-year-old teacher's assistant at Hutch Tech. Meanwhile, the school board remains under scrutiny after a tense meeting and the resignation of board member Cindy McEachin. She cited dysfunction within the board. That dysfunction is now drawing a response from City Hall.
I don't know what's going on in the board. I don't know who's aligned with who. I don't know who's good or bad, but I do know one thing. The children of the city of Buffalo suffer when adults devolve into petty squabbling.
The mayor says the district needs a stable board that supports the superintendent and keeps the focus on students. 9:03 now on Daybreak, and one of Western New York's biggest fundraisers is just hours away. The Ride for Roswell is now in its 31st year. This community-driven event is proof that there is power in people coming together for one shared goal: to put an end to cancer. Among the large group of cyclists will be James Bailey. For him, the fight to end cancer is personal. Before the age of 30, he survived cancer not just once, but twice. James' first diagnosis with Hodgkin's lymphoma came in 2018 while he was preparing for finals at UB. After 6 months of treatment at Roswell Park, he was in remission. And for 7 years, he remained cancer-free until things took an unexpected turn last summer. He says coming back to the ride means even more this year.
Like a year ago, I was facing this battle, and here I am at the end of it, and now being able to give back and be a part of the ride this year. I mean, it means so much more this year.
And this time around, James is looking even at an even harder task in his fight against cancer, but he also had even more of a reason to kick cancer to the curb: his family. Look at that. James Bailey's story of inspiration is just one of the many you'll see right here on Channel 2 later today as part of our coverage. And you can join us starting first at 4 for our special coverage ahead of the Ride for Roswell's Celebration of Hope. Our own Melissa Holmes will be there live with Scott Levin, highlighting cancer survivors and the people who have made this cycling fundraiser possible for 31 years. You can see it all here on Channel 2. We'll also be streaming it right here on the WGRZ app as well. And today, a weekend of celebration at Canal Side kicks off. The Explore and More Children's Museum celebrating 7 years with free admission for 6 or 7-year-olds today and tomorrow. There are reduced $7 tickets for everyone else through Monday. You also see the Seneca Chief that will be making an appearance, returning to Canalside. And of course, the NHL Draft is happening down there too. Busy weekend. Finally, tomorrow, the New York National Guard's 42nd Infantry Division Band will put on a free show at the Boardwalk stage. They are celebrating the nation's 250th birthday tomorrow afternoon at 4. And Batavia Downs Outdoor Summer Concert Series begins tonight, getting things going at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our Motown legends, the Spinners, they will take the stage at 8:30. Tickets are $20 apiece. All right, outdoor concert, outdoor festivities, and the weather cooperating nicely, Patrick.
All right, Pete, do you have a favorite Spinner song? I do.
Do you? What is it?
Games people play.
Oh. I've got to admit, you know, if you told me a Spinner song and played it for me, I'm like, oh, I know that. I'm not very familiar with their discography.
Get acquainted, Pete. Get acquainted. Do 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 do. Anyway,
I like the dance moves, though.
Sorry. All right, I love the Spinners. All right, visibility, by the way, has gotten a lot better up towards the falls in Grand Island this morning. We were showing you traffic cameras and other observation sites that were showing some fog. That has lifted a bit. Still some low clouds in spots, leaving us with a let me fix this a little bit. Leaving us with a very nice looking day today with temperatures climbing into the, I would say, the low 70s today, and then on our way to the mid 70s to upper 70s tomorrow, and then close to 80, it looks like, by Sunday. Sorry about this wind gust map. I had some things out of order here. Wind will be light today. There we go. A live look looking to the south across South Buffalo and Hamburg in the distance, Blaisdell as well. Some low clouds that will linger a bit. It will be mild today. Temperatures in the low 70s, as I mentioned. And then as we go into tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. By the afternoon, there will be some clouds early and maybe a few showers across the southern tier, but then mostly sunny. And Sunday looks mostly sunny and warming up for sure, leading to, let's call it hot, upper 80s to around 90 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with higher humidity levels as well and very little chance for rain. Maybe Wednesday we could see a couple of thunder showers work through. Again, dry conditions on satellite and radar. There will be a little bit of an increase in cloud cover, but no rain-bearing clouds today like we had yesterday. In fact, Future Look keeps things relatively quiet with a little increase in cloud cover later today and tonight. Notice tomorrow morning there could be some clouds and a few rain showers towards the southern tier, and then it should be lovely for the rest of the day with temperatures slowly climbing into the 80s by Sunday. So for today, low 70s. For tomorrow, mid to even upper 70s, possible, I should say. And then on Sunday, temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s, 83 in Lockport, 81 or so in Buffalo. All right, sun and clouds today, 72. For tonight, partly cloudy, 58. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, close to 80 degrees. And there's the low 80s for Sunday, mid 80s on Monday, upper 80s, close to 90 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sometimes when you get these big domes of hot air, it keeps rain chances minimal. However, you can get a little sneaky thunderstorm that develops here and there, and that could happen on Wednesday of next week. But certainly, Pete, looking hot as we head towards the 4th of July weekend. This is Spinners.
Nice. Let's just listen.
Games people play. Listen.
Can't get no rest.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know how I work
Very
all
nice.
day.
Oh, come on. You got to have more foot action on your Spinner stance.
Get in the way.
There you go.
I walk around.
Well done. See, I told people he doesn't need the roof to dance.
No.
He can dance in studio all he wants. All right. Hey, stay with us.
Gotta get away, gotta.
I'm going to spare you, our friends in the audience, any more of this. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, 9/11, and it's time to talk a little NHL Draft, which is coming to Buffalo It is here. It is getting underway a little bit later. And the Sabres, well, they've got a lot of draft currency, whether they choose to use it in the draft or make a trade before that. They have the number 4 and number 20 picks in the first round after a flurry of trade deals this past week. Big change from last week when the organization was sitting at number 27 in the first round. The Sabres also have 4 other picks starting in the second round at 45th overall. Buffalo's in great position. Excitement is building around downtown as well. It has been 10 years since the city last hosted the NHL Draft, and we're expecting to see a lot of hockey fans and families come to town to watch it all unfold. And of course, bars and restaurants, they're going to be packed and hoping to benefit from it all. Daybreak's Natalie Foss joins us live from KeyBank Center, where all the action is taking place. Natalie?
Here inside KeyBank Center, everything is set and ready to go for the NHL Draft tonight. Of course, you can see that there's all the different media stages as well as places for the media to sit, and all that's really left is for everyone to be here, including, of course, the fans. Now, obviously, there's been so much done inside KeyBank Center to get it ready for the NHL Draft, but there's another huge group of people who've also been getting ready for all the fans this weekend, and that is local business owners. Not only will there be plenty of hungry hockey fans, in addition to the NHL Draft, there are several World Cup watch parties and Taste of Country at Salin Field tonight. The general manager at Southern Tier says they're doubling up on everything compared to a regular Sabres season game to make sure that they have enough food for out-of-town visitors.
We saw a lot of out-of-town travelers, especially during that Montreal tournament, so we're really looking forward to the same type of vibe of getting some of those people from out of town that are excited to see people. Toronto with the number 1 overall pick. I'm sure a lot of people are traveling down to come see who they take number 1, and obviously with Buffalo moving up to the number 4 spot, there's a lot more hype around it even from Buffalo's side of things.
He says tourists like to try what Buffalo has to offer, which usually includes chicken wings, and adds that out-of-town visitors are already here enjoying them. Now, there's also going to be plenty of activities for fans to get in on throughout the weekend, including, of course, those fan fests out in Alumni Plaza. There's also going to be a party at Canal Side on Saturday from 10 to 4. So plenty of opportunities to get involved, to enjoy some hockey season activities while it is not hockey season, while we wait for the Sabres to kick back up in the fall. On your side at KeyBank Center, Natalie Foss, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you, Natalie. And there's a lot of debate over what the Sabres should do. The talk yesterday was, they've got that number 4 overall pick. And do you stick at number 4 and draft that young player when the Sabres for years have had the best prospect pool? Or do you use that and make a trade for a number 1 goaltender or someone to replace Alex Tuch?
What do you think?
I'm not going to say what I think they'll do because I have no idea what they're going to do. But if I was the GM and a great trade was there, I would be looking trade first.
Okay.
But I would also be comfortable in the fact that if the right trade isn't there, I'm not going to be forced into making that trade.
But do we need to replace Tuch?
Well, that's the thing. Talent-wise, yes, he's a core player. He's a veteran player. He's 30-goal scorer perennially. But there were players that they had to wedge into the lineup. You look at guys who were performers in the playoff, Ostlund, Helenius. Those guys need a place in the lineup. So, whether they're ready to step into an Alex Tuch role,
right.
I'm not sure about that.
Real quick question. Do you feel that his amazing performance against the Bruins and then his kind of lackluster performance against Montreal, did that have anything to do with the Sabres' decision?
No, he's an unrestricted free agent going into this summer as of, I think, July 1st. And he was going to test the market. I mean, It was pretty clear when they didn't reach a contract agreement by the end of the season. It was pretty clear, all right, they're going to test the market. And the Sabres really had to make that trade to get something in return.
So the Sabres' appetite didn't change based on the last part of the season.
The dollars and cents, basically. He's going into a free agent market, which is kind of low on talent this year around. So they knew he was going to have a lot of money thrown at him. So we'll see how that plays out. But as for Alex Tuch, he officially said goodbye to the Sabres yesterday and the city he's called home for the last 5 years. In this post shared on Instagram, the Syracuse native thanked the fans and the franchise for all the memories. He says, quote, wearing the Sabres jersey was something I never took for granted, and representing this city every night was an incredible honor. So now he heads off to the nation's capital to play for the Capitals. As part of that trade, Buffalo gets forward David Kampf back and a third-round pick in next year's draft. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. I think Alex Tuch is a good piece for a team that is trying to get back to the playoffs like Washington. But Washington's got some question marks. You know, is Alex Ovechkin gonna play another season, or is he gonna, pull a quick retirement over the offseason?
How old is he? Is he 40?
I think he's 72 years old. No,
he's a double AARP member.
It would take
the guy he kind of looks a little aged, but the guy plays
he's
amazing.
Still scoring goals. I mean, just hand over fist. And I think he wants to get to 1,000. I think that's I can't remember where he is now, but I think in the back of his head, if I'm still putting him in the net and I can do what I do. So I think if I was a Capitals fan, I'd be sitting there going, sign him up. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, we're going to switch sports and switch gears now. We're going to turn our attention to the World Cup, and the United States men's team closed out the group stage play with a last minute. And the last minute, they added
last minute.
Well, they added 8 minutes of extra time, and they lost in the last minute of that extra time, in the 98th minute to Turkey. But, of course, the game didn't really mean much. They still advanced after they won Group D, and they knew that going in. So they shifted around their lineup and because they're trying to focus on the next round, the knockout round. Fans here in Buffalo are still taking in World Cup action together across the city. And last night's 3-2 loss in Los Angeles decided in stoppage time. They fell short in the 98th minute, but despite that result, the U.S. still finishing top of the group. They now move on to the round of 32. And this was the watch party last night as they continue to have multiple locations, including the West Side Bazaar, where a free viewing is set up for today, a 3 o'clock game, Norway against France. And then here at Silo City later tonight, they'll have another watch party. 2 matches will be projected onto those huge historic grain silos, starting with Uruguay and Spain at 8 o'clock, followed by Belgium and New Zealand at 11 p.m.
It brings people together. It brings more people to enjoy football, global sports that everyone loves all around the world. So to see the world coming together, that's what we want to see more of it.
And all of these parties are free and open to the public. Also, Team USA will head to Santa Clara for their next match against Bosnia-Herzegovina. That match is July 1st at 8 p.m. And again, that's the knockout round. So
this game had they won,
it didn't matter. There was nothing was going to change. So, they tried different things to see what would work. But that last goal was kind of disappointing because there was a lot of standing around and ball watching going on. And it was just like, really?
And why did they just add 8 minutes?
Well, because this is one of those things that gets constant criticism in soccer. And I'm a soccer fan. I played soccer my whole life. And I agree. We've got the technology to put a clock up there and stop it when there's an injury or a foul or thing. So, they keep the clock going during injury and then they add it at the end. Yes, exactly. And the referee and the support staff keep track of how much time elapsed. So they'll as they approach the end of regulation at that 90th minute, they'll tack on an extra 6, 7, 8 minutes. But it's so fluid, and there are times you're watching, they tack on 8 minutes, and you're sitting there going, okay, it's 98-23 now. It's 98-34.
When's the end?
And the referee just decides when to blow the whistle. Right. But really disappointing though, in the 98th minute to lose it like that. But I think they're going to regain their momentum. They were going in knowing that it was a win or lose, doesn't change anything. And Turkey, I think they wanted to prove something on the way out. They didn't advance. So,
but they won.
Yeah, but
you still.
It's all about where you finish in the group. So
so you have to understand, for somebody like me, the loser doesn't advance, or does advance, but the winner doesn't.
Well, it's like playoffs. You have this round robin section of the tournament where only the teams that finish top in the brackets move on.
Okay.
The top 32 teams. So basically, Turkey didn't have a chance of advancing. Buffalo, the United States, didn't matter if they won or lost. So.
Okay. During the commercial, you can explain this.
Now, Bosnia-Herzegovina comes Wednesday, 1 o'clock. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break so I can explain it further to Patrick, and we'll be back after this as we take you to the odd before the odd. Stay with us. All right, 9:24 now on Daybreak. You know, Patrick, it's been a big week in Buffalo sports. Tuesday, we cut the ribbon on the new stadium.
Yeah.
And now we've got the NHL Draft. A lot of forward thinking, right?
This is the guy that looks back.
Are you ready to go back in time?
I can't wait.
All right, we're looking back into Buffalo sports of the past. This morning's unknown story of Western New York puts the focus on a building which now houses the city's plows and salt piles, but was once the epicenter of Queen City entertainment. We all watched KeyBank Center come alive this past spring as the Sabres brought winning hockey back to Buffalo. But before KeyBank Center was even a thought, the Sabres called Memorial Auditorium the Odd Home. And the Odd stood right about where Canal Side is, actually right where Canal Side is. Center ice was just beyond that fountain. But before the Odd was the other Odd.
In some ways, this is hallowed ground for both Buffalo sports history and entertainment history, because everything that happened in Buffalo happened here.
That's right. The city's highway garage is indeed hallowed ground because it was the center of the Buffalo entertainment universe for decades.
It is a little strange that you keep plows on a place where Ella Fitzgerald, Theodore Roosevelt, John Philip Sousa, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, I could go on and on of all of the people who have stood in that building and addressed crowds in Buffalo.
It's lived many lives, though. It started out as an armory in 1858 and then was expanded all the way to Broadway and was known as the Broadway Arsenal. The original armory walls are still visible on the back wall inside, but by the turn of the century, the armory moved, and that left the city having to figure out what to do with this massive structure.
And they realized the thing the city needed the most was actually an entertainment space. So they converted the armory into an auditorium, and it's around that time from the turn of the century up until about 1940 that it really has this peak window of being the heart of all of our entertainment, all of our sports in the city of Buffalo.
It hosted concerts, boxing matches, lacrosse games, hockey games, bicycle races, circuses, masquerade balls, rallies, conventions, and conferences, even bowling. And the stories these walls hold, Harry Smith played lacrosse here. He went on to be better known as Jay Silverheels, the man who played Tonto in The Lone Ranger. Boxing great Jimmy Slattery fought here. And on January 11th, 1937, Joe Louis fought in front of a full house of 7,300 people. It is Buffalo's oldest continuously occupied civic building and the world's oldest existing structure that has hosted professional hockey.
It's one of those stories that I feel like people maybe drive by all the time and don't realize just how special it is.
And as the Broadway Barns right now have an uncertain future, they certainly have a storied past within the unknown stories of Western New York. Yeah, and right now the city is trying to decide what to do with because it's getting tough to house the plows in there and the salt. So they're looking at building a $92 million centralized highway department, state-of-the-art building. But the good news is there are also developers and preservation. Buffalo Niagara Preservation are looking to preserve the Broadway Auditorium in some way, shape, or form, and redevelop that as well, because it's an important piece of history. I don't know if they ever got landmark status, but I know they were pushing for that location.
Very cool, though.
Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, think about that stretch of Broadway, because you've got that facility right there, and you've got the greats of entertainment and the sports world performing there, and just down the street, the next block over, you've got the Colored Musicians Club, where the greats, I mean, everyone from Cab Calloway to John Coltrane to Miles Davis performed in the Colored Musicians Club.
Wow.
And that stretch of Broadway was it was hopping. It was hopping. A little Harlem Hotel around the corner. I mean, it was an incredible piece of Buffalo history. And I'm just so glad to see so much preservation going on in that area.
So Miles Davis was there, and
Yeah,
John Coltrane.
There is
amazing.
I've got to show you this picture. There's a great picture that's of the stage at the Colored Musicians Club, and it's got, I can't remember who's performing, but in the background, you've got a picture in the doorway waiting their turn is a very young John Coltrane and a very young Miles Davis. It just sitting there waiting there for their turn to take the stage.
That's insane.
And they, you know, these world-class acts would come in, they'd perform in Buffalo, and they would stop there because it was the only colored musicians union in the city. And so they would go there and perform after their show with local musicians. And
to think he might have played Witch's Brew in that building.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that album.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, we are going to say goodbye for a Friday morning. Thanks for joining us for Daybreak all morning long. Have a great weekend.